Good afternoon. Good afternoon, freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla here, aka The Definition, aka Tyrant's Bane. How are you guys doing on this Thursday, March 27, 2025? I am on my way back to South Kakalaki, for the weekend, spending time with my fam. And I wanted to discuss this whole Devin Haney situation and touch on the Lamont Roach situation as well, because yeah, why not? Why not give my 2 cents on that? Yeah. So it's been almost a year since Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, and neither of those guys has had a fight since then, right? One person was suspended for using performance-enhancing drugs. Kind of took some time off. You know, he was supposed to have a few fights. He had a couple fights lined up, and then that, you know, did not come to fruition for whatever reason. And now here we are, getting ready to see both of them fighting in May. But they won't be fighting each other. They won't be fighting each other. Queen Mother Shakila, how are you doing this afternoon? Yeah, they'll both be fighting this May, but they won't be fighting each other. They'll be fighting different opponents. Ryan Garcia will be fighting Rolly Romero, and Devin Haney will be fighting Jose Ramirez at 144 pounds. It's a catch weight, but the plan for Devin is to move up to 147 and campaign there. You know, it's all part of some tournament that Turkey Al-Sheikh dreamed up and all that good stuff. And that's just what it is. Now, Devin Haney has been training for this fight. He has been preparing for this fight like he always does. He had during this training camp, he had a whole month of Ramadan and more than a month between Ramadan and the fight. You know what I'm saying? So he has plenty of time to get back accustomed to being able to eat, you know, being able to do all that stuff, and at the same time, he will not have to cut it. And Ryan Garcia, everybody thinks he's got his head on straight, that he's focused and all that good shit for the Rolly Romero fight and all that. And so that's basically where we are with both fighters. At this point in time, with both fighters, Devin Haney is training, Ryan Garcia is training. You're not hearing very much from those individual camps, but moves are being made. Certain moves are being made that not very many people are talking about, right? You have Ryan Garcia with the Juice Crew, right? He's with the Juice Crew. Eddie Reynoso. What's up for the dog? For the boys, what's good? Yeah. That Ryan Garcia is now with the Juice Crew, Eddie Reynoso and them. And that's where he's at. And he also has hired a strength and conditioning coach that is known allegedly for using performance-enhancing drugs as well and being able to get away with it. So says Freddie Roach. Now, do we know that if this is true or not? We don't know, but apparently he had gotten caught. He was a bodybuilder or something like that, and so who competed in non-drug tested competitions. Whatever, it is what it is. That's what Ryan Garcia has been up to. He's been up to that, and not very many people outside of the LDBC has been talking about that, right? Shout out to those members of the LDBC, who I support. You know what I mean? And this is why I support them, because they're shining lights on things that others tend to ignore. Now, like I said, he's with the Juice Crew. He is working with a strength and conditioning coach that is a performance enhancing drug using bodybuilder, or was a bodybuilder and is now a strength and conditioning coach, and also box. So that's what's going on with Ryan Garcia. Meanwhile, Devin Haney has been practicing and upholding Ramadan while he was training. You know, he's working with a guy, I forgot what his trainer's name is, working on certain things. Now, this is important to understand. Devin has been training very hard. And this is being reported by insiders that are close to Devin and close to the Haneys, including BFTB. And in training videos I've seen, Devin has been, you know, working on protecting his chin while he's throwing jabs. He's been doing different things and all that good shit. This is what's been going on. I'm giving you guys context to help you understand how deep the hatred goes for Devin Haney. I'm going to show you guys. And I'm doing this so I can let you guys know that Devin Haney ain't got shit to prove. Not a motherfucking thing. He ain't got a motherfucking thing to prove at all whatsoever to anybody. Devin is a proven, right? Devin is a proven legend. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Who hates Devin? I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into who hates Devin and why they hate Devin, and how I know they hate Devin. I'm going to get into that. But right now, I'm getting everything laid out. I'm laying you guys out, right? For the work. That is basically a construction term where a foreman or a superintendent gives instructions or gives details on what they're going to be doing for the day. I'm laying you guys out for the work. So now we know what's going on. Devin is training, right? Training hard, sparring, you know what I'm saying? Apparently, you know, it's being said that Devin is getting people out of there and sparring and putting on good sparring sessions. And yeah, I know you guys are going to say, oh, well, that's just sparring. That don't mean nothing. If sparring didn't mean anything, then they wouldn't be sparring, right? It doesn't count as a real fight, but it counts for something, right? It tells you what you need to work on. It tells you what you need to focus on, and it prepares you for your opponent. So that's what sparring does. And if he's doing a great job in sparring and showing a lot of promise, then that counts for something. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia is working with a Juice Crew, right? A team where multiple fighters have gotten caught using performance-enhancing drugs. And we know that Ryan Garcia popped dirty for PEDs. So Eddie Reynoso took on a fighter that is a known PED user. You understand what I'm talking about? So there's that. So with all this in mind and with all this being made aware of, you guys are aware of these things now. You guys know what each fighter is up to. And they're not fighting each other in May. Right? Apparently Ryan Garcia wasn't feeling comfortable with fighting Devin Haney next. He wanted a tune-up, essentially. Well, how is that a tune-up? When Rolly Romero does not fight anything like Devin Haney. He can't even come close to giving you a Devin Haney look. So what it's not a tune-up, right? He's testing the waters to see how he'll perform without PEDs. That's what he's doing, in my opinion. So there's that. But here's the thing, though. With all the facts being laid out and all the facts being known to certain individuals, they still have it in their mind that Devin has something to prove in a fight against Ryan Garcia, in a rematch. Devin has something to prove. It's Devin's responsibility to look good and to put Ryan Garcia away, all these things, right? And Devin has all the pressure. That's what they're saying. Oh, Devin's feeling the pressure. Devin's making excuses, right? I talked about this yesterday. I talked about how, and I gotta say it. I can no longer support Claymore Rain. That's just me. I can't do it. If I'm going to remove my support for Knockoff Pity Pat, for him saying that Devin was an email no contest, then I have to withdraw my support from Claymore Rain for saying that he does not care that Ryan Garcia used performance-enhancing drugs. What he cares about is Devin's performance. As if those are mutually exclusive things. Well, those things are both true, right? There's Devin's performance and Ryan Garcia using PEDs that led to the outcome of that fight. But Devin has something to prove. This is the mantra. Devin has something to prove. Devin's in denial. Devin is going through the stages of grief. Devin can't accept the loss. Devin can't do this. Neither can his fans. If you don't agree with that, you're a fanatic. Here comes the shaming language, right? Sign language, as the late, great Kevin Samuels would call it. A term he assigned to the modern woman. Shaming language, yeah. Sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. They are displaying all of these things, right? Shaming language, oh, you're a fanatic, right? Insults, again with the fanatic, again with, you had Knockoff Pity Pat calling his fans, calling Devin Haney supporters stupid if they don't consider Devin Haney's performance in that fight. What are we talking about? Devin ain't got shit to prove, right? Because despite Ryan Garcia being on PEDs, despite Ryan Garcia coming in 3 pounds overweight, despite those things, despite Devin being knocked down 3 times, Devin still outperformed Ryan Garcia in that fight. It's just the recency bias and the confirmation bias and all the biases against Devin Haney allowed Ryan Garcia to win 2 of 3 scorecards on the night. 2 of 3. That means there was a draw. And that draw indicates that Devin Haney did enough. Devin Haney did enough to make it look like it could go either way. And if you are using the 4 criteria of scoring boxing to look at that fight, well, that's the conclusion I drew. It's the conclusion I drew. But I'm not mad at the Ryan Garcia winning that fight outside of the drugs, because look, man, he knocked Devin down 3 times. I mean, it is what it is. But Devin Haney, see, people are acting like Devin Haney looked horrible. Let's really talk about the performance that Devin Haney had in that fight. Let's talk about his game plan, which was not his typical game plan. It's not the style that Devin usually fights in, that aggressive, walk forward, moving forward, trying to walk Ryan Garcia down. That's not his typical style. But in spite of this, he had a lot of success. He hurt Ryan Garcia, right? He rocked Ryan Garcia, knocked him back. And Ryan Garcia slammed his gloves together because what he was trying to do was prevent himself from falling. That's what he was doing when he knocked them gloves together. Kind of like when you're about to fall asleep on the road and you go like that. You go like that, like you're on the road and you're driving and you're tired, right? And you feel like you're about to pass out. You go like that to wake your ass up. Yeah, that's what Ryan Garcia did. But we don't want to talk about that. What we want to talk about is one thing. And when I say we, I talk about Devin Haney haters who call themselves Devin Haney fans, who say they like Devin, when in reality, I don't think they do. And if they do, they are hopping on the bandwagon of let's shit on Devin and say that he needs to redeem himself. Bandwagon. That's what they're doing. They're hopping on the bandwagon of that. Why? Because maybe they want to garner more fans. Maybe they feel like Ryan Garcia has more. I don't know. I cannot prove intent. I can't do that. But what I can say is that everybody wants to focus on the left hook of Ryan Garcia. Oh yeah, that left hook. He kept landing the left hook. Oh, the Ostarine that didn't make Devin drop his hand and get hit with the left hook. Man, Minor Master Musa, what's good? Freedom ain't freedom. Absolutely right. Freedom is not free. Dead Mike, what's happening? You came here to troll? So, think about that. The left hook. Oh, Ryan Garcia kept hitting him with the left hook. What is this kept hitting him shit? Oh, he kept getting hit with it. Has anybody ever heard anybody give a percentage of left hooks landed versus thrown when they talk about this? Has anybody ever said, oh, well, Ryan Garcia landed 80% of his left hooks against Devin Haney in that fight? I don't think so. I don't think anybody has gone through, counted the number of left hooks that Ryan Garcia threw versus landed and came up with a number, a percentage. It can be done, right? Because people can just go rewatch the fight. They can go through the fight on their channels. They can go over the fight and show you all the left hooks that Ryan Garcia landed against Devin Haney. Who, by the way, ain't got no chin, right? Ryan Garcia Devin Haney ain't got no chin, but he landed all these left hooks. All these left hooks landed on Devin Haney. But Devin ain't got no chin. And he only got dropped 3 times and didn't get knocked out. A man with no chin going up against a power puncher like Ryan Garcia, who is known for his extremely powerful left hook. It would not last. He would not last 12 rounds. So this idea that, oh, he got hit by every left hook Ryan Garcia threw is nonsensical. Right? It's hyperbole. Well, there's no room for hyperbole when you're trying to rationalize Devin Haney, rationalize the idea that Devin Haney has to prove himself. If Devin Haney has to prove himself, what does Ryan Garcia have to do? No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about Ryan Garcia needing to prove himself without the use of PEDs. No one's talking about that. No, we're just talking about Devin. We're just talking about what Devin needs to do and how Devin is the one that is a fraud, right? Oh, Devin, what are we talking about? But you can't say that to these people because they're invested. They're invested in the idea that somehow Devin Haney did something wrong. Or if you want to say that Devin used the wrong game plan, that he's kept dropping his right hand. As if you want to count that as being something wrong, sure. Yeah, that was the wrong thing to do. But Ryan Garcia being on performance-enhancing drugs far outweighs that shit. It just far outweighs it. There is no two ways about it. Because not only because Ryan Garcia used performance-enhancing drugs in general, but because of the type of performance-enhancing drugs he used and the antics, right? The antics that lead up to that, to the fight, and to the discovery of Ryan Garcia using performance-enhancing drugs. If you go back and look at everything that happened, you can see all the Easter eggs, right? You know how they talk about Easter eggs in movies and TV shows? Well, there were plenty of Easter eggs, right, leading up to that fight that showed you, well, goddamn, Ryan Garcia was on PEDs. But that would only be in hindsight, right? Because you're not looking for that in real time. You're not looking for that as the time is progressing, as you are in the space and time of the lead up to that fight. No, you're not thinking about whether or not, well, maybe some people were. Maybe some people were. I mean, it was something that was heavily discussed because Ryan Garcia was taking so long to sign up for the VADA testing, right? And he kept talking about how he passed this drug test and passed that drug test, made huge announcements about it, as though he were surprised. Then you have the IV usage, which is prohibited in the state of New York. Completely and strictly prohibited. Because with the IVs, you can have something in there that will mask or manipulate or contaminate a drug test. So it's not just about, oh, well, they can use the IV to flush the drugs out of the system. It's not just about that. It's not just about flushing the drugs out. It's also about contaminating a drug test, right? Or changing the chemistry of the traces of the drug in your system to where it can't be detected. Then there was the alleged cocaine and marijuana usage and all the alcohol. All these things can contribute to contaminating or masking performance-enhancing drugs in a drug test. Shaquilla says, no, my focus has been since the end of the fight. He got up every time. Yes, every time. So, these are all the things that led up to Ryan Garcia getting popped. All these Easter eggs. Yes, they are Easter eggs. With all this in mind, with Ryan Garcia even going on a racist rant, we're still pointing at Devin and telling him, yo, you gotta prove something. You got something to prove against Jose Ramirez. You got to prove that you're not negatively affected by this fight. I will say this. I don't know Devin. I've never talked to him. I don't know his mind. I can't read his mind. But based on the way he composes himself, every time you see him, every time he does an interview, every time he discusses, every time he has a discussion or talks about that fight or talks about anything, he is very composed. He is very stoic. And salute Prize Fighter TV. In my opinion, I think Devin is okay. I think he has recovered. You'll have people out there that'll tell you, oh, Devin is stuttering more than usual. What the fuck are you talking about? Stuttering more than usual? Counters. Devin is always the one to make something happen first. First you had the clinch counting. Now you got a stutter counter. Oh, that motherfucker stutter mode. Man, what is you talking about? Devin Haney has a stutter in general. He just has a stutter. Right? It is what it is. That's just how Devin is. But for people to try and make a determination about Devin's punch resistance based on the level of stutterdom is out of this world. And it all stems from hatred. It all stems from hate. You want Devin to be negatively affected by this fight. So right now, you want him to still be recovering or have not yet recovered from the Ryan Garcia fight. You got motherfuckers out there saying, oh yeah, Devin broke his jaw. Devin's jaw is still broken. You got people out there that were trying to push this narrative that Devin's jaw was still broken when it was never broken in the first fucking place. Devin Haney's jaw was never broken. But you got people out there, now they stopped doing the shit because they realized how stupid it was, but they already said it. It's already out there in the ether, y'all. It's too late. If you bought into this nonsense that Devin's jaw was still broken, or that it was ever broken, and you bringing that shit up 9-10 months later after the fight, and you're trying to convince people that Devin is still hurt from the Ryan Garcia fight, my goodness. How deep does the levels of hatred go for Devin Haney? It goes extremely deep. It goes extremely deep. And when it comes to a drug cheat, when it comes to choosing to back a drug cheat or choosing to go at the person that was cheated more than you go at the person that did the cheating, well, I can't fox with you. And that's okay. You don't need me to fuck with you. That's good. It's fine. Y'all don't need my support. If you believe that Devin Haney has something to prove, you don't need my support. But I still have to be steadfast in my position. But Devin ain't got shit to prove, right? Devin has proven himself already. Devin has proven himself already. He has already put a stamp on his legacy. And that stamp on his legacy will be, his legacy will secure his children and his children's children. That's why I don't understand why people say you can't feed your family legacy. What are we talking about? Plenty of legends still feed their family, and they are in the ancestral realm right now. Legends in the ancestral realm are feeding their families based on their legacy. So, how is it that we can say or accept this nonsensical thing of, oh, legacy, you can't feed family with legacy, you can't do this? Legacy is what immortalizes you, right? Legacy is what prevents them from erasing you from history. I mean, especially now, if you cement your legacy in this day and age, you will never be erased, right? They can't 50 years, 100 years from now say that you were white if you were black. If you were a black legend, they can't make you a white legend. They can't do it. And not only that, legacy means that everything that you have your name on is going toward what they call that when you die. God damn it. When wealthy people die, estate. Your legacy will enrich your estate if you do it wisely, right? If you invest in the right things, if you put your names on certain things, right? You'll always be, hell, your family will be good forever. And now, once your family has the reins of your legacy, it's up to them, to keep it in good standing, right? It's up to them to make wise decisions from the fruit of your legacy. Legacy bears fruit, y'all. Whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying. But Devin has nothing to prove. Devin can lose to Jose Ramirez, and still his legacy will be cemented. So when the question comes up of, well, what happens if Devin loses to Jose Ramirez? Well, from what I understand, he'll still continue to move on and go on to fight Ryan Garcia in the rematch. And after that, win, lose, or draw to Ryan Garcia, he will continue to fight if he chooses to. Or he can hang it up. He can hang the gloves up, but he will still be cemented. That is what we're talking about. Devin has nothing to prove. In spite of what they say, despite of what they say. Regardless of if they tell you that he's in denial. He's making excuses. All these different things. The fact that they will say that using the drug cheating as a contributing factor to that loss, that was reversed, by the way, it's no longer a loss. If you use the PEDs as a factor, then there's something wrong with you. You're in denial. You're making excuses. I cannot abide that. I can't abide it. Because that's the wrong message to send. You're sending the message of, it's okay if your opponent is a drug cheat. It's okay. It's up to you to overcome their performance enhancement and win the fight. Oh, look at Frank Martin. Look what happened with Frank Martin versus Michelle Rivera. Oh yeah, they'll use him as an example. Oh, he beat Michelle Rivera, who was on performance enhancing drugs. But here's the kicker. Michelle Rivera was not on a type of enhancement drug as Ryan Garcia. He was on an illegal or a banned diuretic. And the reason it is banned, two banned diuretics. Not steroids, not a SARM, right? Which will contribute to speed, power, and increase size. Will allow you to cut weight and cut water without losing muscle. No, he wasn't on those things. He was on a weight-cutting agent known as diuretics. This helped him with cutting weight. But now you can't put it past him that he might have had something else in the system. You can't put it past him. But if you look at what he was popped for, these things are diuretics. Now, I explained what they are in a live stream I did previously. Because somebody used that as an example of how you can overcome a drug cheat. Yeah, he was a drug cheat, but he did not have the type of performance enhancing drug as Ryan Garcia. Not to say that it was okay. It was not okay. It's not okay. The reason you don't want to use these these diuretics is because they're dangerous to the user, right? It's extreme. That's why it's banned, because they're extreme. Bodybuilders have died using diuretics like that. Died. Right? They use it close to the competition. Helps them cut a lot of weight, but it dehydrates the shit out of them. It gives you that hard, because all the water, right? All the water is going to come from out of all your muscles, but not just your muscle. It'll also come out of your organs, including your heart, your brain, right? And even without that, the brain is the first thing to be dehydrated. So you have your organs, your muscle, and it does not care. It'll suck the water out of everywhere and essential nutrients. You will not get the nutrients you need to certain parts of your body, and you get organ failure. That's what happens to some bodybuilders who use too much of it. That was the type of shit Michelle Rivera was on. He was not on an Ostarine. He wasn't on a, or anything like that. No. He wasn't on D-Bol, or he wasn't on any type of estrogen, selective estrogen receptor modulator. He wasn't on testosterone or anything like that, as far as they know, for what they tested. So that's a bad example, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So Devin has nothing to prove, y'all. And if I were him, and he probably already has, in all honesty, he's probably already said, fuck y'all. That's what I would say. I'm no longer doing anything in the sport of boxing for y'all. I'm doing it for myself. And if you guys happen to enjoy it, you do. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. That's how you gotta move. Right? That's how you gotta move. Do the best you can. You know what I'm saying? Do your best work. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Fuck them. So, it is what it is with that. It is what it is. If they don't like your performance, if they don't like what you're doing, you cannot, even though you're fighting for the fans, your livelihood depends on fan engagement, right? Well, with Devin Haney, they're going to engage with him regardless. You see, they don't not engage with him because they're not indifferent to Devin. Because what is the opposite of hate or love? The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. If these individuals were indifferent, if the casual fans and the casual fan manipulators, right, they call themselves YouTube content creators in boxing, I call them casual fan manipulators because they push this nonsense that Devin has something to prove. Devin is this and that. But if without it, it's just, it is what it is, like, right? Devin ain't got nothing to prove, period. Because, like I said, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And if they were indifferent to Devin Haney, well, they would not engage with Devin. They wouldn't engage. They would treat him like they didn't know who the fuck he was. But since Devin moved the needle, people either love him or hate him. And that's what helps move the needle. Devin is loved or hated by these people. No, not very many people are indifferent to Devin, right? They feel one way or the other. And that's just what it is. And that's where Lamont Roach may end up finding himself as well. He might end up in a love-hate relationship with the boxing fans in the boxing world, in the boxing commentating space. Yes, because of what is going on with him and Tonka Truck Davis. They are set to rematch. Now, I don't know how, I don't know if this is actually going to come to fruition, but, you know, they were talking about it. Tonka Truck Davis sent out these messages to certain YouTubers that he was going to rematch Lamont Roach before doing anything else. Now, the problem is, some may feel, is that Lamont Roach wants more money. He wants more money this time around because he feels like, you know, because of his performance and because everybody thought, not everybody, but a lot of people thought he won, that he beat Tonka Truck Davis, which I'm in that school of thought that Lamont Roach beat Tonka Truck Davis 9-3 or 8-4. Well, 9-3 or 10-2, my bad. And so, yeah, Lamont Roach feels like he has more value now, so he wants more money. That's what's being reported. But of course, you have those individuals out there, those Tonka Truck Davis, those Tonka Truck fanatics, right? That think this is absurd. That think, oh, Lamont Roach, his head's getting too big, or he's trying to price himself out. They're suggesting Lamont Roach is trying to price himself out. Well, right now he has leverage. He has leverage because he knows that the world wants to see that rematch. He knows Tonka Truck Davis knows that the world wants to see that rematch. And we know that Tonka Truck Davis craves the validation. He craves validation from people. Yes, he does. He craves that validation. And so he kind of got forced by the fans to want to have that rematch because a lot of people were looking at him funny in the light, as they should. But of course, you're still going to have the diehards who's going to diminish and devalue Lamont Roach's performance and Lamont Roach's actual win. They're going to say, oh, well, it was barely a win with the knee, and with the knee not counted, it's a draw, like the ref, whatever they feel. But in reality, Lamont Roach has the leverage, y'all. Because Tonka Truck is in a space where he wants to move on. He wants to move on and make a whole lot of money with Jake Paul. Yeah, I mean, I guess he wants to fight Jake Paul. That's what they're saying. But he knows he has to get Lamont Roach out the way first. And in my opinion, he wants to fight Lamont Roach in a rematch, knock him out, fight Jake Paul, get knocked out or not get knocked out, whatever. It's going to be a huge payday. It's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be a circus. And it's going to be asinine. And it's probably going to be an exhibition. Then he'll be done with the sport of boxing. That's my opinion. As a professional. He will move on to fight gerbils and wallabies and kangaroos. He will move on to fight goddamn jackrabbits. He'll move on to fight that robot from Wall-E. That's what he'll do. He's going to fight in exhibition matches against people and animals you never heard of. Like, there's this shark with, never mind. He's not going to fight a shark. He'll drown. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, he's gonna fight a honey badger. He's gonna fight whatever he's gonna fight. See, Tonka Truck Davis is not interested in legacy. He's not interested in belts. He's not, or when it's convenient for him. Whatever. He's not interested in that type of shit. He moves different. But the problem is that Lamont Roach whooped your ass. Even without you getting a strand of hair in your eye and taking a knee. Even without that. Beat him. Roach beat him. Lamont Roach has more leverage. And he's trying to get more money. But is that a price out? Is he trying to price himself out? I don't think so. I think he wants to rematch Tonka Truck Davis, put a stamp on it, and move on at the 135 weight division and unify. That's what I think he wants. But he wants more money. There's nothing wrong with that. He's not pricing himself out. We don't even know what he's asking for. All we know is he's asking for more money. Now, there are concerns of whether is it in the contract? What the contract say? What does the contract from the original fight say? Does it say anything about? Because obviously, and for sure, if Lamont Roach were to win that fight on the scorecards officially, then the Tonka Truck Davis has a rematch clause in his favor. But we don't know what it says about, or if it says anything about a draw. And if it doesn't say anything about a draw, well then, if Tonka Truck really wants to fight Lamont Roach, then there can be negotiations monetarily for who gets what split, who gets what, you know what I'm saying, guarantee. These things can be negotiated. Once again, you have people out there that will tell you, well, if Lamont Roach moves on to fight, skips out on fighting Tonka Truck and moves on to fight Shakur Stevenson, then he's going to lose that Tonka Truck Davis bag. Right? Because that is what they'll tell you about Tonka Truck Davis. They'll tell you that, oh yeah, you got it. Oh, that's the lottery. If you get that Tonka Truck fight, that's the lottery. You're going to get paid, right? You're gonna get a hell of a payday. You might. But that all depends on the back end money, because the guarantee damn sure ain't a lot. So let's look at, really going to miss out Tonka Truck Davis bag if he goes to Turkey Al Sheikh. Turkey Al Sheikh can give him a bigger bag. He's definitely going to give him a bigger guarantee if he fights Shakur Stevenson. A bigger guarantee. And they might even be able to work something out with the pay-per-view back end or whatever. But the bottom line is, he is going to get a bigger guarantee from Turkey Al Sheikh. And if they do, pay-per-view or whatever, he might be able to get a split of that. Whether they headline a pay-per-view or is a co-main for a pay-per-view. Lamont Roach would make more money if he went to Turkey Al Sheikh, potentially. So there's that. And then if he did that and he beat Shakur, he'll have even more leverage over Tonka Truck Davis, which I don't think he will. I think that Shakur Stevenson would beat Lamont Roach. At least I think that now. But it's not a price out. And these people keep talking about the biggest bag was with Tonka Truck Davis. If you go to Turkey Al Sheikh, oh, you're gonna miss out on this and that. What do we? No, the fuck we're not. What are you talking about? The Tonka truck bag can't even come close to seeing the turkey bag. But this is what they'll try to convince you of. No. The turkey bag will always be bigger than the Tonka truck Davis bag. And it's not even Tonka truck's bag. Anarchy Television, what's good, bro? Salute to you. But again, these are desperate talking points to diminish Lamont Roach's value, to convince you that Lamont Roach don't deserve more money, when that could be further from the truth. Tonka Truck Davis does not have all the power in this negotiation, unless there's something in the contract that shows that a draw will yield Lamont Roach this amount of money. But it's not a price out. It's not a price out. It is what it is. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for swinging through here. I'm about to get up off of this thing and holler at y'all later. But it's been good talking to you. Good chopping it up. Thank you for coming through. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.